morning, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. The time is 7:34. This is the regular meeting for June 13th. Clerk, can you please do a roll call?
Councilwoman Aaron? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Bliss? Councilman Fleming?
Here.
Councilman Rohrbach?
Here.
Councilman Soltis?
Here.
Councilor Wright?
Here.
Mayor Grabstein?
I am here. Can I please have a motion to excuse Mayor Pro Tem Bliss? He did give notice.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mayor Pro Tem Bliss.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor?
Yes, support. Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem is excused. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Aaron to do the invocation and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask that you stand if you are able.
Heavenly Father, we come here today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Father God, help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of this community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the community of this great city. And continue to remind us all of why we're here today, and that what we are here to accomplish, the pursuit of truth for the greater glory of you and for the services of humanity. We ask all these things in your name. Amen. Amen. Our Father, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Aaron. I think we're all getting used to new surroundings. All right, first up, we have approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions this evening?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'd like to move that we add to the agenda under item number 16, under communications, a Madison Heights Citizens United Juneteenth Festival charitable gaming license.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Yes.
support.
All right, thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Just for clarification, Juneteenth has requested to do a 50-50 raffle, and so this is one of those situations where the city needs to approve it in order for that to take place, and it's technically gambling, 50-50 raffle. So,
Shouldn't there be two motions, maybe, that they have one that's going to recognize them as a nonprofit organization within the city, and then the second one would be that we approve their license?
Attorney, can we do it all in one?
It can be all done.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
do it all in one.
that's fine.
Yeah, we can do it all in one. Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. This is just to add it to the agenda. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries 6-0. It is added. Are there any other additions or deletions? All right, seeing none, we are going to go to public hearing. So this is special approval of PSP 22-05 for Lefty Arleshood, doing business as Dinoland. John R. Mrs. Marsh?
The applicant requests special use approval to operate an indoor children's recreational business within the existing commercial retail center located at Madison Place, which is 32109 John R. The property is currently zoned B3. The applicant proposes to operate an indoor children's playground and cafe known as Dinoland within the vacant retail space at the Madison Plaza Shopping Center. The vacant retail space is approximately 9,600 square feet. Per the project description, the business will provide an indoor playground for children, 4 private birthday party rooms, and a cafe. Per section 10.326, indoor and outdoor recreational businesses are permitted as a special use in the B3 zoning district. The Site Plan Review Committee reviewed the special use application at their May 25th meeting and did not cite any concerns with the proposed use. Therefore, the Site Plan Review Committee and staff recommend that City Council approve the requested special use application for indoor recreational uses at 32109 John R.
All right, thank you. So before council discusses this, I'm going to open the meeting to the general public to specifically talk about this. There will be time later to talk about other issues, but right now this is specifically to talk about the special approval, so with that, if anyone wants to talk about this item, please go ahead.
My name is Stuart Frankel. I'm the owner developer of Madison Place, which goes back a few years, almost 40. Dinoland has been a tenant of mine in Dearborn Heights for 5 years. I found them to be an exemplary tenant. They have a serious interest in coming to Madison Heights. They'd be a wonderful tenant in Madison Heights. And I think they provide an opportunity to the younger folks of this community, which will be well needed and well deserved. The owner of Dinoland is here to answer any specific questions you may have. We would appreciate your support and help in making this a reality.
Thank you. Anyone else who wants to comment specifically on this item? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close public comment and ask what is the wish of council.
Your Honor,
Robach?
I move that council concurs with the site plan review committee and staff and approve the requested special use application for indoor recreational use at 32109 John R. Road.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry, do I need to say from indoor rec, or from general business to indoor recreation?
Thank you. Is there a second?
Your Honor, I'll support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor,
Please.
is the owner here? Or-
Right.
Hi, can you stand up, introduce yourself?
So my name is Ali Lutfi. It's a family-owned business. My dad's right there, Lutfi Al Rashid. It's going to be he's going to be running the show. So we started this in 2019, just before the pandemic hit. And I know it shut us down for 10 months, but we survived it. It's really an alternative to all the arcades and all that for kids. It's anywhere from 1 year old to 12 years old. It's an indoor playground. Especially important in the winter months in Michigan. Those are long months. It provides a nice setting for kids to play in, cafes right in front of it with food as well for the parents to sit and watch. They can see their kids from anywhere, really, where they sit. So it was pretty successful. So we decided, we're gonna open another one. And this, the demographics here are similar to what we have in Dearborn. So I think it's going to be very successful there. Keeps kids active, gives kids a lot, off the screen time and forming relationships with other kids, playing with other kids. So I think it's a very healthy alternative to what we have for entertainment for kids. And we keep it at 12 years old because we don't want, older kids to be in there and, they have other interests. So that's us.
Your Honor?
Please. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I looked at the pictures, I haven't been to the one.
Okay.
But the pictures look great. I'm welcome, I'm glad that you decided on Madison Heights. I think it's a great idea. Do they also have, like, birthday parties?
Yes, so basically it's going to be admissions and then birthday parties and a kitchen. There's memberships as well. So the birthday parties, we're going to have 4 rooms in there throughout the day. Most of the parties are going to be on the weekends. Obviously, the parties will also be included in the capacity, so.
All right. Great, thank you.
No problem.
I have
So
a-
it's myself, my wife Karame, and my dad Lutfi Al Rashid is going to be running the show.
What is there now? I'm just trying to picture it so everyone can know where this is.
So
It's
it's,
empty? It's a Target
I
Plaza,
think,
right?
You're talking about where it is in Madison Heights?
Where is it, yeah, what's it going to be replacing?
Believe it or not, it's for any of you people who are on council. It's the old-fashioned bunk space, it's 9,600 square feet, 4 doors north from where Dunham's is.
In the plaza with
It-
Target.
Yeah, it's in the Target Plaza,
Yeah, that's
okay.
Madison Place.
So, yeah, this is where,
Okay.
speaking Madison Heights, it's in the Target Plaza.
Correct.
So you've got Target on this side, you've got 168 over here, and you're talking about the back side,
Correct.
next to Dunham's.
3 doors from Dunham's.
Okay, well, the general, okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that, okay.
Oh, Your Honor, I had one
Please.
question. When's the estimated time to opening?
we're hoping for October,
Okay,
October, November. That's what we're
Okay.
hoping for.
just in time for winter.
Yeah.
Are there any other council questions? Please go ahead.
What would be like the baseline price for admission?
So admission to which what we have now is $12 for 2 and up, and then $6 for 2 and under.
Any other questions? questions? All right, you may sit down, thank you so
Thank you.
much, sir.
Thank
All
you.
right, then seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you again.
All right. Next up, we have meeting open to the public. So this is the opportunity for the public to speak, whatever you'd like to speak about. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes, address me, give your name, address, any affiliation with the city, and with that, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. So to start out, I'm going to say I have been a taxpaying Madison Heights citizen for 37 years. That's a lot of taxes. In viewing the May 23rd City Council meeting, I noticed an inaccurate statement made by Quinn Wright on the City Council. In the statement, Quinn denied ever stating that he accused the city of being racist. I spoke at the September 27th 2021 meeting where I quoted him word for word from a June 14th, 21 meeting and shared my concerns about his over-the-top accusations. At the June 14th, 2021 meeting, at the 59-minute mark, he stated, and I quote, "There is a culture of white supremacy embedded deep within the roots of this city," unquote. Examples, please. Quote, "We need to recognize our racism. It is seeping through the pores of this city. Racism, prejudice, bigotry is embedded in our community. Mr. Wright's viewing everything through the prism of race is getting tiresome. His lecturing about being kind to one another, all while calling the city horrible names, is appalling. There are laws in place that Mr. Wright can pursue if he feels he is being discriminated against by anyone. This, or I suggest, pray for people's shortcomings that are doing this. Most of my encounters with African American individuals in our community often ends with a "have a blessed day." What's going wrong with your encounters? Attitude is everything, I guess. His attempt to deny his words and claim that he didn't call people racist, just white supremacists, is supposed to be okay. One more thing. No, the HREC board is not above criticism. People's moral convictions and opinions should be taken to account also. All in the name of inclusion, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to speak this evening? Please
I
go.
do. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Lynn Tinkle. I live at 734 Pine Ridge Lane. I live at the first house in the back of the Church of Nazarene. All right, I've called Code Enforcement Greg and about the cottonwood tree, which is right here. It's like 3 stories high. I lived with this tree for 18 years. It's ruined my fence in the past. It's in my yard over my walnut tree. It's 3 stories high. And they don't mow the grass behind my fence ever. The tree, the bark is coming off. It needs to come down. It really needs to come down. I've called the church. I've called Greg, the code enforcement guy, since last winter. I live with the tree every year. You know, I just think I think it's a safety issue for my home. All right, the tree has actually ruined my whole fence in the past. You know, the branches have come in my yard. It's a humongous weed. It's so big that it scares me. And it's actually curving in the middle of my yard. It's actually over in my yard, all right? And it's ruining, the roots are ruining my backyard. And there's a groundhog too that's traveled through there. And it's on a slant. If that thing falls, it's gonna rip my house in half, all right? And I really think it's a real safety issue. It's the only tree on the Church of Nazarene's property. And, you know, no one cares. You know, it's like I never wanted to come to this meeting because I'm not that type of person. I'm not a mean person, but I just had enough with this tree. All right? I need to have a safety inspector come out and look at this tree, and it really needs to come down. You know, he doesn't even mow behind it's 4 feet high, the grass. and the grass is coming through my plastic fence, you know, and it's really bad. And I have another really major concern about the plasma bandages. I have pictures every time they've been in my yard, all right, for the last 4 years. I have them in my yard right now, all right, you've documented them, there's blood on them, and no one cares. You're lucky I don't have a child that's young. I have a 20-year-old, thank God. You know, I've been living here for a long time, and I mean, the plasma bandages are this big. They've been in my garage, in my backyard, on my front step of my house, on the side of my house. You know, I've had a tree with 17 of them in one day on it. I can't pick that up. You know, so there's an and they don't get cited, the plasma center, for any of it. You know, and I don't want to get a lawyer. I really don't. You know, because of COVID, no one thinks, oh, well, it's medical waste, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'm just so glad I don't have a young baby to put a piece of it in its mouth. But when they come inside my garage, and I have pictures all over the place. I take a picture every time I see one. And I mow over them because I don't want to pick them up. I started collecting them and put them in a Ziploc
Okay,
bag.
ma'am, sorry, this is the 3-minute timer, so
right.
thank you for your concern.
Yeah.
Could you write down your name and your phone number, and then I can have somebody
Yeah,
reach out
because,
to you?
you know, I want
If you can just
something
write it down, I don't know if we have,
Yeah,
okay?
because,
If someone can get your
okay,
name and
but the
number,
thing
and they
is
can get
that
back to you, thank you
cottonwood
so
tree,
much.
I really need it to come down.
All right, yeah, if you give your name and number,
Okay.
then we can have someone reach out
If
to
it
you.
doesn't, I'm gonna use it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Grasstein. My name is Kevin Wright. I live at 745 Canterbury Drive. I'm also on the Board of Directors of Madison Heights Citizens United. I was going to get up here tonight and use my time to tell you all about the great things that we have planned for the Juneteenth celebrations on Saturday, but I've decided to take a little bit different route, and I'm going to tell you why. Over the weekend, a gentleman responded to one of our Madison Heights Citizens United Facebook posts by saying Juneteenth is a stupid holiday that no one ever even knew about 2 years ago. And you know what? He's right, or half right. Not many people, myself included, knew anything about Juneteenth until very recently. But the fact that we were not taught about it in school, or it was not widely part of our collective knowledge before 2020, does not negate its significance in our nation's history. My ignorance does not supersede its importance. My relatives came to our nation from Poland by boat, by their own choice. The relatives of some of the people in this room, and many, many who will be attending the Juneteenth celebration this Saturday, came to this nation by boat too, but not by their choice. Not by their choice. Many have asked me personally, why are we having a Juneteenth celebration in Madison Heights? Some have even said it's unpatriotic to celebrate Juneteenth in our city. I think nothing could be further from the truth. I can't think of anything more patriotic, more American than celebrating liberty and freedom and personal sovereignty than the end of slavery, the end of enslavement for millions of our fellow Americans. When Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and read General Order No. 3, which in part stated all slaves are free, on June 19, 1865, nearly 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation and 2 months after the end of the Civil War, it was the fulfillment, I'm going to say it again, it was the fulfillment of our founding documents, the fulfillment of the ideals and principles that all men are created equal and entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's what we'll be celebrating on Saturday at Civic Center Park. Now, of course, we all know the struggle for racial equality did not end on June 19, 1865, and it continues to this day. But that's work that will continue beyond Saturday. In 5 days, we'll gather together to celebrate this great American holiday. We'll celebrate liberty, we'll celebrate freedom, and we'll celebrate what it means to be a part of the great mosaic we call our American family. As I said earlier in my remarks, some have asked me many times, why are we celebrating Juneteenth in Madison Heights? My question is, why wouldn't we? Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I'm Lori Gerald's 299 Sonia, and before I start my comments, I'd like to just make a clarification for the added agenda item, please. So what we're requesting of City Council tonight is a city resolution confirming that we're a 501c3 in the city. That does not give us approval of the license itself, it's just a qualification requirement for us to be able to apply for our first raffle license going forward anytime we do this, so we do not require anything from the city.
Thank you for that clarification. I was a bit concerned that every time a PTA wanted to do a 50/50, they had to come before us, and I didn't think they had in the past, so I appreciate that clarification.
Very busy.
Yes, thank you for that, I appreciate that.
Okay. I am honored to be a board member of Madison Heights Citizens United, who will be hosting the Juneteenth celebration. But instead of, again, like Kevin talking about why we think you should come because it's gonna be fun and blah, 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 I'd like to share why I believe this board and their year-round activities are some of the most important work I'm involved in. Madison Heights Citizens United is committed to promoting racial equality and encourages an open, constructive conversation about race in our community. We seek solutions that put our words into positive actions and help move our community forward together. Juneteenth is a huge labor of love with months of planning and hundreds of hours of persistent dedication by the 5 board members of MHCU, largely due to the heart and soul of founders Kevin and Kalila Wright. He said it was okay to say that. And then to be in the year 2022 and facing so many possible reversals of voting rights, our efforts to educate people and invite them to join the conversation are more important than ever. So for those unable to attend Juneteenth, we invite you to reach out to Madison Heights Citizens United to learn more about upcoming activities and ways that you can participate to help keep moving the needle forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and members of the public. I'm a director on the board of Madison Heights Citizens United, a local clergyman, and also own a business. My name is Michael Jerome Howard II. My father's name is Michael Jerome Howard Sr. His father was Floyd Howard Jr. His father was Floyd W. Howard. His father, my great-great-grandfather, was Amos Howard, and his father was a slave. Standing in front of you is a proud descendant of slaves and sharecroppers. Standing in front of you is a proud descendant of the resilience and strength it takes to overcome America's greatest sin, slavery. Many moons ago, Thomas Jefferson penned these words: "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they were endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." June 19, 1865 was the first day that these words were applicable to black people in this nation. Juneteenth is the oldest celebration of the ending of slavery in the United States. Black people have been celebrating Juneteenth in our neighborhoods, in our backyards, and our churches for over 150 years. We've got some questions about that. How does that apply to Madison Heights? I would just say Juneteenth is not just a black holiday. The name Michael Cox Jr. will mean nothing to most. However, he is one of my wife's ancestors, who so happened to be white, who so happened to fight for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness during the Revolutionary War, who would go on to have descendants who would fight for unity and freedom during the Civil War, who also so happened to be white. Just as we celebrate freedom from the bondage of the British, we ought to celebrate freedom from the bondage of slavery just as well. During this year's celebration, we will be teaching 4 practical steps how to actually achieve racial reconciliation in our nation. Madison Heights Citizens United can touch the hearts and the minds of people. But council, only you can change the policies that make this city a safe place for all people. The spotlight of history is upon this city, the city of progress. And currently that spotlight is favorable, but will it stay that way? It's for you guys to decide. We would love the full support of the city, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you Saturday and hearing about your policies that will make the city a better place. I've worked here for many, many years. I own a business here, and I love this city more than one that I live in. Our councilmen, I live in Warren, our city council is getting pressure in other local cities. Why is Madison Heights doing this, but we're not? Why is Madison Heights making these steps and progressing, but we're not doing so in the same way? So I love this city. I'm glad to be a part of the city in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Anybody else wishes to speak this evening? All right, then I am going to close public comment. Thank you everyone for your comments. And next up, we have communication. First is from the city manager, emergency purchase change order number 1 and 2, Adams demolition for 901 and 945959 East 10 Mile.
On February 28th, City Council approved a contract with Adams Group to demolish 901 and 945, 959 East 10 Mile Road structures for $412,154. However, once this work got started, several new situations developed requiring change orders related to the contamination and backfill needs at this site that were outside the demolition company's control. These change orders were reviewed by staff and by the state of Michigan before being approved through the city's emergency purchasing provisions. This provision was enacted to prevent project delays of this time sensitivity in this unique project. Change order number 1 related to 901 East 10 Mile and resulted from the on-site hydraulic tank removal and additional backfill of stone for $27,396. Change order number 2 related to 945, 959 East 10 Mile and resulted from additional estimated hazardous waste tonnage for an approximate total of $90,300. This actual cost will be based on the exact amount of tonnage disposed of. Including these amendments, Adams Group is still the lowest and most responsible bidder. However, the city does have grants to cover the cost of both of these addendums. Therefore, City Council is asked to receive and file this emergency purchase that I have already approved.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor.
Councilor Rohrbach?
I move that council receives and files the report on the emergency purchase for change orders 1 and 2 Adams demolition.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 4 is the GFL service update.
I'm going to turn that over to Donna Beretta and Corey Almas from the DPS and GFL.
Go ahead.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, elected officials, Don Beretta with GFL, 6200 Elmridge, Sterling Heights, Michigan. I was asked to stop in and discuss GFL or answer any questions that anybody would have. I'll start by saying that we've been in Madison Heights for a number of years. We love being here. We hope that you feel the same way. Madison Heights is serviced out of our location in Sterling Heights at 18 miles an hour. We dispatch out of there every morning we're in here around 7 o'clock, 7:15. We use a number of disposal sites in the area. Eagle Valley, we use the CDS transfer station, we use the SMDA, we use the Warren Waste Transfer Station, which we manage for the city of Warren. And we try to get out of here as early as we can. Lately, we've been a little bit later. I think we've been, on the average, probably in the city till around 7:30. And I can sort of try to explain why that has occurred. People always ask us, we don't have enough help. Well, we do, believe it or not. We do have enough help. We try to carry about a 10 or 12% extra employees to cover them. And I know that hiring CDL drivers has been a challenge for sure for the past almost 3 years. And we managed to do it. We have a very comprehensive compensation package, which has been enhanced twice over the past 2.5 years. We try very hard to bring in quality CDL drivers and laborers or loaders, as we refer to them. They have a very good comprehensive package. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield, we have optical, dental, prescriptions, we have 401k, we have, let me see, I have brought them with me just to make sure. We have health savings accounts, we have quick spending accounts, we have insurance, short and long-term disability, We already talked about the 401K plan, and we have an employee assistance program to assist our employees if they need help. So that's pretty much what we have for our compensation for our employees. The day of being a CDL driver for $15 has passed a long time ago. Most of our guys, depending on what they drive, are anywhere from $25 to $35. And it just depends on what kind of truck that they drive. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. We've been in the township or the city now since 2012, I think it is. And hopefully we'll be here till 2025 and beyond. We like being here. We feel that Madison Heights is a special town. Me personally, I've been in Madison Heights since way back when Pete Connors was, I think, the DPS director back in the 80s. That's all. I gave away my age, but that's just the way it goes, I guess. But I've been here for many years when the incinerator was open and with everything with that. So.
Well, thank you. We appreciate everything you've done. I'm wondering if there's any questions from council this evening.
Your Honor?
Would you have that, please?
So, in terms of, because there used to be a problem with late pickups, have we had any issues with that, complaints?
I very rarely get any complaints from anybody. I know Corey and his staff, if there's something comes up, he notifies. We have a supervisor that's in the city 5 days a week. And anything that comes in from his staff or him is addressed immediately. Now, I know we've been working later, but there's five or six operating centers in southeast Michigan for GFL. Our operating center here, we have never left anything land. I mean, maybe the occasional here and there, but has there been a subdivision or streets that have been missed? I'm not aware of it. Anything that comes in, and Corey can tell you, I'm probably the easiest person to get a hold of.
Yeah, I will say that, I think, is it Douglas Jones, is that who you're referring to?
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones, yeah, he seems to be on it for the most part, from what I've heard.
He's here,
People miss things, it happens, it's human nature, we miss something, and for the most part, they'll go back, they'll get it, they'll pick it up, so.
Your Honor, I can attest to that. Doug has been, any complaints, and there have not been a lot, Mr. Soltis, on as far as the late pickup goes, but the GFL has been running, as Don has said, a little bit behind. And anybody who's driven in Madison Heights on John R. around 5 o'clock knows darn well why. Okay, the traffic on John R., direct result of the I-75 construction, they have been running a little bit late. We've not been receiving many late complaints. But I will say that the complaints that we do receive, and there's not that many, that Doug Jones is right on top of it. And if Doug does not respond, which he has very expeditiously, the next call is to Don, and there hasn't been many of those.
And we hope that being late sort of gets better as we get further into the year. The biggest issue with us is heavy-duty truck parts and getting equipment. Even in 2020, if we had a number of major breakdowns and we needed to lease a truck, there were 3 or 4 vendors in the country that we could go to and get a truck probably within a couple of days. You can't get a rental truck right now. We've tried to consolidate our buying power for a lot of our parts vendors and our third-party repair shops. And it's unbelievable. And if we were to get to a point where we're able to get our parts, quicker and get some of our major repairs done at our third-party vendors, which are a lot of the warranty work because of some of the new federal regulations. Those sometimes we end up with a new truck going to a third-party vendor just to fix things that weren't done when the truck was manufactured.
Well, thank you, we appreciate the update. It's good to hear you're on top of it. Mr. Almus, did you want to add anything?
No, I think I covered most of it.
I actually did have, Your Honor.
Okay, right, and then Mr. Soltis.
I did want to just add, I want to thank you for coming out and thank all your employees for the dirty job that they do and the hard work that they do. I know that is not an easy job, and those guys put in a lot of hard work. I can tell you that I've had some residents make comments to me about pickups being missed in general, and that was part of the reason why I was interested in having you come in. And I totally appreciate the labor shortage and the part shortage, because that seems to be going around lately. But I thank you for coming out, and I just asked in general, I noticed that you said that there was a number, like Corey, you haven't heard anything. If we could just make it easier for our residents to figure out who to call, because I'll be quite honest, before I was on council, I had a hard time figuring out who to call when my trash pickup was missed. And it's frustrating when you have a trash can full and you gotta sit on it for a week, so.
Well, Your Honor, if I may, anybody with a complaint can contact DPS. Our office staff, administrative staff at DPS will take the call, they transfer that right to Doug immediately. If there was a missed stop, they will come back and pick them up. In most cases, pick them up the next day or even that same day if they were missed. But residents need to be reminded also that their cans need to be out by 7 a.m. The morning of that pickup.
Thank you for that, and thank you guys for coming out, and I hope you continue to come out regularly. So
Yeah, we're glad to come out whenever Corey invites me.
All right, Mr. Schultz, do you have something?
Yeah, I'd like to just see the numbers, like how many people complain about late, you know, on a regular basis.
Well,
because I've been here a while. I was here when Rizzo ran it, and you guys are from, GFL's from Canada? Is that the?
Well, the company was started in Canada.
Yeah, so we had some up and downs.
Yeah.
A lot of downs too. So I'm just concerned, I don't want a trend to start, especially during the summer months. So if you just let me know
Your Honor,
the extent of the complaints, I would appreciate that.
we track all GFO, all trash-related, recycling-related, we track all complaints and list them. And just to be clear, those complaints have trended down in the last several years, and we're getting fewer and fewer complaints. But we do consistently, and we do track them every year, and we can provide those.
Thank you.
And just one quick thing. GFL has a process called Q-Alert, and what it is, it's everything's in real time. So if somebody calls our customer service center, there's an alert sent to Doug, and it's his responsibility to close it that day.
Okay.
And just like with Corey's staff, once they get it to Doug, they can get Doug by phone, by text, or by email.
And he always responds immediately.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming out and answering our questions this evening.
You're welcome.
That's it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Coming out.
Have a nice night. Thank you. Yeah,
Excuse me, do you have a card? Okay, would you give me one, because they missed me 6 times this year already. Okay. All right, I want to call you.
All right, so next up, we're actually gonna have item 16, which was added. It's just the way that our new numbering system works. This would be under communications. So this is to recognize that Madison Citizen Heights United is a 501c3 charitable organization. Okay, so what is the wish of council?
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we recognize Madison Heights Citizens United as a 501c3 charitable organization in the city of Madison Heights.
Okay, it's a 501c3 charitable organization, and there's support?
Support.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wright. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. And next up, we have report, first up, Finance Director of the Contract for Assessment Services.
Since July 2011, the City of Madison has contracted with Oakland County Equalization for assessing services. The current agreement expires on June the 30th, and Oakland County Equalization is proposing a renewal contract for a 1-year term. This proposed renewal is essentially the same as the current contract with a 4% per parcel increase. The fiscal year 2023 budget was approved at $204,021 for assessing services. The anticipated cost of this increase is actually $212,776. Therefore, we are also asking council for a budget amendment of $8,755. Staff and I recommend that City Council approve the proposed assessing services contract with Oakland County from July the 1st, 2022 through June the 30th, 2023, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign on behalf of the city. but first you need to approve the budget amendment at $8,755.
Okay, so this would be two motions then?
Yes.
And the budget amendment would need to be a supermajority, which is 5. So first up, what is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilor Bach.
I move that council approves a budget amendment of $8,755 for the fiscal year 2023 for assessing services with Oakland County Equalization.
Thank you. Is there support?
Yeah.
Councilor. Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries 6-0. And then the second part of that is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that council approves the proposed assessing services contract with Oakland County from July 1st, 2022 through July 30th, 2023, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Is there support?
Yeah, I support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion from council? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up from the DPS Director, the 2022 Oakland County Local Road Improvement Program, the LRIP, the cost participation agreement.
For the past 6 years, the city has successfully participated in Oakland County's Local Road Improvement Program, also known as LRIP, which is designed to assist local units of government with needed local road improvements. The program is based on a minimum 50-50 match between the city and Oakland County. Since the inception of this program, the city has received $355,000 in county grant funding. Oakland County has offered the program again for 2022, and we have been awarded a maximum grant amount of $81,493 for the sectional concrete repairs on Mandolin Avenue, offsetting a total project cost of $140,000. Staff recommends that City Council approve the cost participation agreement for the 2022 LRIP program and authorize the mayor to electronically sign on behalf of the city.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilor Bach?
I move that we concur, the council concurs with staff to approve the cost participation agreement for the 2022 LRIP program and authorize the mayor to electronically sign on behalf of the city.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor, all support.
All right, thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Next up, also the DPS Director. Council actually needs to approve the 2022 Festival in the Park fireworks display permit. We permit ourselves to do this.
So at the regular meeting of April 25th, council approved the permit for the 2022 fireworks display and authorized the mayor to sign on the city's behalf. However, since that time, we have been informed that the vendor, Great Lakes Fireworks, is unable to fulfill that request. Upon receiving this information, Recreation Coordinator Brooke Hasler immediately began reaching out to other potential vendors, specifically describing our needs and expectations. Through this exhaustive process, it was determined that Petrotronics Fireworks, it's what? Pyrotechnico, excuse me, Fireworks would be able and willing to provide the high-quality show for the same budget. Therefore, City Council is being asked to rescind the previous permit approval to Great Lakes Fireworks due to their inability to commit to delivering the 2022 Festival in the Park fireworks display first. And second, approve the permit for the 2021 Festival in the Parks display from Fireworks and sign on the city's behalf.
What is the wish of council?
Your Honor.
Councilman Fleming? Or Soltis? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Can I put the two motions together?
To rescind their current action.
No, they should be two separate.
We need to do
Separate ones? All right, so the first one is to make a motion that council approve to rescind the previous permit approval of Great Lakes Fireworks due to the inability to commit to delivering 2022 Festival in the Parks fireworks display.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. And then the second part of this?
You have to make a motion that the council approve the permit for the 2022 Festival fireworks display from Pyrotechno Fireworks. Authorize the mayor to sign it on the city behalf.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Yeah, I'll make
Support. Thank you. Motion has been, is there any discussion? Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. And then last up, under reports from the finance director, the resolution adopting poverty exemption guidelines.
The new numbering system has thrown.
The new number just has a lot of us. No, that's okay. It's just, it's like the spring. We need to get used to it. It's,
Oakland County Equalization Department is contracted to provide assessing services to the Madison Heights. The state tax commission's auditor reviewed the OCD assessed rolls. Madison Heights poverty exemption resolution and application has failed the audit due to a non-permissible item found in the resolution application. Therefore, the city is being asked to approve a new resolution. The changes include adding state equalized value for a principal residence. This is not permitted and must be removed. There was also a paragraph regarding real property assets other than principal residence. The city is permitted to list the asset list in dollars only, and that needs to be updated. There was a reference to vehicles that needs to be changed. A paragraph regarding assets under $10,000 shall be treated as cash and an income stream, and that must be removed. There are several other changes that were typing errors, and then there was unique circumstances that must also be removed. Therefore, City Council is being asked to adopt the resolution that you were sent and guidelines as presented.
all right. Thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Council Ray?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2022 poverty exemption guidelines in compliance with PA 253 of 2020. Residents can apply for poverty exemptions to be heard by the Board of Review in both July and December, just minus the last part, right?
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor.
Council Soltis?
Support.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor.
Please.
I do. I'm all for this resolution. I think it's great. I must have been about, the city manager, it was 6 years ago. We made it where somebody who can't afford paying for the water, that it would not be turned off. And so I think this goes hand in hand with that, and I'm glad to see that our city's doing it. So.
Is there any discussion, other discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next up, we have bid awards purchases from the DPS director to purchase of 2 police patrol vehicles.
The approved 2023 budget includes the scheduled replacement of 2 standard police patrol vehicles. Vehicles have been extremely difficult to come by in recent months due to the widely publicized supply chain and microchip shortages. This situation is expected to continue, possibly worsen in the year 2023. We were informed by our government sales representative with Chrysler that he would be taking delivery of a very limited number of Dodge Durango pursuit vehicles. Therefore, we are asking council to approve this purchase before the end of June. Staff recommends that council award the purchase of 2 Dodge Durango pursuit vehicles to Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge of Warren, Michigan, in a total of $78,110 under the Oakland County Cooperative Purchasing Bid. Funds are budgeted and available.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilman Claire?
I'd like to make a motion that council award the purchase of 2 Dodge Durangos pursuit vehicles to Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge of Warren, Michigan, in the total amount of $78,110 under the Oakland County Cooperative Purchasing Bid.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Your Honor.
Council Rohrbach?
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have ordinances. I have first one from the city attorney, ordinance 218, when the medical marijuana ordinance amendment. This is the second reading.
At the request of City Council, Legal Counsel has amended the medical marijuana use ordinance to allow for staff to move forward with selecting an applicant for the city's 1 remaining medical adult use co-located facilities. Pursuant to section 7-406B of the city's code of ordinances, city council may adopt a resolution to establish selection periods for accepting new applications for combined and co-located medical marijuana facilities and adult use marijuana establishments where such licenses are available to be issued. At the city council's direction, city staff is working to initiate a new application period for the remaining license for a combined and co-located medical marijuana and adult use marijuana facility. According to section 7-408 of Article 17, marijuana establishments, the scoring and selection of such a facility shall be determined by the criteria provided for in Article 16, medical marijuana facilities, section 7-308, which regards scoring and selection of applicants. This will allow the selection process for the medical marijuana facility to be the same and combined with that of an adult use license. The scoring for these applications to be valid must be followed as provided for under this ordinance. Based on the lessons learned during the initial marijuana licensing application, the staff recommends adjustments to the original scoring to improve the selection process. Accordingly, section 7-308 must be amended to incorporate such adjustments legally to make these scoring alterations. Based upon approval of the amendment of section 7-308 and a resolution authorizing a new application period, the city can begin accepting and evaluating submissions for the last remaining provisioning and processing medical marijuana and adult use marijuana license.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of city council?
Your Honor.
Council Rohrbach.
All right, so, excuse me. I move that we adopt ordinance 2181 on second reading.
Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor.
All support.
No support.
Okay, Councilman Fleming, I'm going to give that to you, Councilor Wright. Can you guys just please remember, you need to be recognized by the chair, okay? I don't know if it's the change in venue or what, just the one that everyone's going through. Okay, so motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Just if we can have a roll call, please.
Yes. Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, clerk, can you please do a roll call?
Yes. Councilwoman Aaron.
Yes.
Councilman Fleming.
Yes?
Councilor Rohrbach.
Yes.
Councilman Soltis.
No.
Councilor Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Grice.
I vote yes, motion carries 5-1. Thank you. Next up from the city attorney, ordinance 2183, the 2021 property maintenance code. This is the first reading.
Legal counsel has reviewed the ordinance and recommends an amendment to adopt the ICC property maintenance code, which would be the 2021 edition on first reading, with a second reading scheduled for June 27th, 2022.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor.
Councilor Rohrbach.
I move that council adopts the amendment to adopt the ICC Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition on first reading and schedule a second reading for June 27th, 2022.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor. I support.
The motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor?
Yes?
Yes, okay, I have a question. Is this code updated every so often, that we're gonna be approving that it's amended?
Yes, I think the last time we approved it was in 2012, but it's typically updated every 2 years.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's routinely updated every 3 to 5 years, and essentially, there have been minimal changes since the last version. What we do for liability reasons, want to make sure that we're referencing the most recent published version.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion, questions? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Next up, from the city attorney, ordinance 2186, the 2021 International Fire Code. This is also the first reading.
The city's code of ordinance incorporates by reference the International Fire Code for establishing the standards of regulating, governing, and safeguarding the life and property of fire and explosive hazards. The International Fire Code is routinely updated every 3 years, and this amendment updates the reference for most recently published standards. Legal counsel has reviewed the ordinance and recommends City Council adopt ordinance 2186, the 2021 edition of the International Fire Code on first reading, with second reading scheduled for June 27, 2022.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Aaron.
I'd like to make a motion that council adopts reference ordinance 2186, the 2021 edition of the International Fire Code on first reading by number and title only, with second reading scheduled for June 27, 2022.
Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor. Support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Next up from the CED Director, this is the rezoning request for PRZN 22-01, ordinance 2184. It's to rezone. I'm going to summarize the properties on DeQuinder. Mrs. Marsh, this is the first reading.
The applicant Hudson Madison 2 LLC requests the rezoning of 3 parcels of land, which is 30151, 30171, and 30183 DeQuinder Road, from R3 single-family residential to RM multifamily residential. The 3 subject properties contain 2.86 acres and are improved with single-family detached homes and their accessory structures. The applicant requests the rezoning to RM to construct a senior living, assisted living, and memory care facility on site, which is permitted as a special use within the RM district. The new facility will be associated with the independent senior living facility currently under construction immediately to the south of this site. Therefore, the rezoning does constitute special use or site plan approval. At their May 17th planning meeting, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the requested rezoning. Based on the Planning Commission's findings and recommendation, the staff recommends that City Council adopt ordinance 2184 upon first reading and schedule the required public hearing for July the 11th City Council meeting.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor.
Councilman Willis?
I'll give it a try. To make a motion that council approve the ordinance number 2183, 2021 property maintenance code first reading, with the second reading scheduled for June 27, 2022.
Okay, so it's ordinance 2184.
Excuse me.
All right, is there support?
Your Honor.
No. Councilor Wright?
Aye. Support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against say no. Motion carries 6-1. All right, next up, we have also from the CED Director another rezoning request, and this is ordinance 2185 for the property at 29022 Stevenson Highway.
The applicant EWM Miller Wash LLC requests to rezone 3 parcels of land, 29022 Stevenson Highway, from M1 Light Industrial to B3 General Business. The subject properties are located on the northeast corner of Stevenson Highway and East 12 Mile Road, immediately to the west of the I-75 interchanges. The subject site consists of 3 parcels, which contain a total area of approximately 1.14 acres. The site is improved with the existing 3,285 square feet commercial structure currently occupied by Cole's Place Restaurant. The applicant requests a rezoning to B3 in order to construct an auto car wash facility, which is permitted as a special use within the B3 district. This rezoning does not constitute special use or site plan approval. At their May 17th meeting, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the requested rezoning based on Planning Commission's findings and recommendation. Staff recommends that City Council adopt ordinance 2185 upon first reading and schedule the required public hearing for the July 11th council meeting.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion that council adopt ordinance 2185 upon first reading and schedule the required public hearing for July 11th during the regular city council.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Your Honor.
Councilor Ross?
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries, thank you. And then last up, we have minutes. Can I get a motion from council to approve the minutes of the May 23rd?
Your Honor.
That's all right.
Motion to approve the minutes from the May 23rd, 2022 meeting.
Thank Thank you. Is there support?
Support, Your Honor.
Mr. Soltis? Thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. The main session is over, and I'm going to invite closing comments from council.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ooh, we made it through, y'all. I want to first just say Happy Pride Month, and then next Sunday is Father's Day, so I'd like to wish all the dads a Happy Father's Day in advance. I lost my dad when I was 10 years old, so I never got an opportunity to tell my mama, I'm gonna tell my daddy on you. So, you know, I also want to thank Citizens United for acknowledging the Juneteenth and hosting the second annual Juneteenth Festival. Let y'all know I will be there with running shoes on, going into all the food trucks and getting some of that good food. I debated whether or not I was gonna say this or not, but I feel that it should be said. As a black woman living here in the city, raising a black son, I am appalled when I keep hearing the racial narrative regarding Madison Heights. I have lived in this city for nearly 14 years, and prior to that, I've worked here, I've shopped here, I've eaten here. I've been coming through this city for well over 20-something years, and never have I ever felt as though I did not belong here. I have never been treated with nothing but respect from all the residents and welcome in any place I've ever been, and so has my son. So I do understand what's going on in the world when it comes to our black men, because I do have a black son, but I don't see it here. And I'm not saying because I don't see it, it's not happening. My experience may not be the next person's experience, but I don't see it. There was a comment made during public speaking asking that council create policies to ensure that equality is represented in the city. I may have quoted him incorrectly, and I apologize if I did. But it is my wish that, opposed to creating a racial and cultural divide in our city, can we please create a diversified, unified, and caring community? That's all I have to say.
Council, right before you speak, I want to apologize. With the configuration, this is how I'm talking to you. So that I feel like I've been doing this, and Councilor Rohrbach, I don't know if you have a louder voice than him or whatever, I've been able to hear you a little bit easier, but
I'm just really loud.
It's pretty much Councilwoman Aaron and more or less Councilor Soltis, I've been able to hear, but the three of you, it's just been really muddled. So I want to apologize for that, but please go ahead. It's your time to talk.
It's okay, Your Honor. I've been kind of going back and forth
Yes,
too, like
yes,
saying,
second.
I like to make a motion, so I completely get it. You know, I want to say Happy Father's Day too to all the fathers in our community. It's Men's Health Awareness Month, and after we talk about mental health, it's all tied to our men. As men, we are taught from the beginning to be givers, providers. But part of that, we're not taught us to take care of ourselves. So we talk about mental health, we talk about all these things for the month of May. We need to carry that throughout the year. Remember that, like, us taking care of ourselves as men, as people, is incredibly important. So just keep that in mind. I'm a dad, and like most dads, I'll be probably cooking or doing something other than relaxing. So happy Father's Day, happy Pride Month to all of our LGBTQIA+ members, their families, their friends. When we have these celebrations, it's not like ceremonious just for the heck of it. It's because there is an equality issue, and we still need to address it. And that's my opinion. I respect everyone's opinion. And with that, I say that talking about racism isn't divisive is not talking about racism that is divisive. My experience in this city is different from others, and I'll be quite honest with you, I've lived in this city for 15+ years now, and I can tell you that the city does have some history that we all need to check into, and I won't go any further into it than that. But you don't have to peel back the onion too far. You can just look on some of our roads and see what I'm talking about. And I would encourage anyone who wants to have a dialogue about it, an honest dialogue about it, so let's talk about it. That's what Madison Heights Citizens United is doing and has done. We've had conversations. I've been a part of that group helping them in past conversations called Recognize Your Racism. and recognize your biases, because we all have it. Now, that doesn't mean that we're all walking around and racist. So everyone refers back to a comment I made on June 14th, 2020, because I refer back to it, because I'm not retracting my statement. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, and what I meant was that we all have to recognize that we all have biases, and they need to be addressed, and until we do, we're going to continue in the circle where we create unsafe environments for people who don't feel comfortable speaking about how uncomfortable they are. And I won't do that, because I have 3 little daughters, and I want them and need them to feel heard, seen, and loved, not just by me, but by their community. And I need their differences not to be marginalized, but to be accepted and applauded by saying, hey, you are different, and that's cool. And by not saying we're all the same, because we're all human, but our life stories are different. And the reason why I bring that up is because since we've left here, there have been so many mass shootings that have happened that it's insane, and it's because we don't recognize our differences and how they impact our view on our life. So I would like to just encourage you guys, on a lighter note, come out to Juneteenth, come celebrate it. It's now a national holiday. It's not just for a part of this community, it's for the entire community. It's for all. It's an opportunity for us to see each other. It's a national holiday that connects perfectly with the 4th of July. And so I would encourage you guys to come out, meet some neighbors, make some new friends, and if you're up to it, have some uncomfortable conversations. Ask someone some questions that you feel comfortable with. Don't ask a stranger. It's not a good look. But come on out. I know a lot of us are going to be out there. I expect to see all of City Council come by at one point or another. I'll be out there, shaking hands, kissing babies. So hope to see you guys there. And I'm excited for the festival at the park. We haven't. How long has it been? 2 years.
2 years.
So excited for fireworks. But for all the folks who set them off on their own, I just want to remind you to be kind. I have a dog. We have dogs, and my poor dog does not like the fireworks. So if you don't remember anything else I said, just please remember to be kind.
No. No report other than, as you know, I'm not here that often at these meetings, so I appreciate you letting me not have to weigh in too much today.
Anything from the clerk's office?
Just that absentee ballot applications are available for anybody interested in voting in the August 2nd primary election. It's a dual application. You can also at the same time save time and apply for your November ballot. And also, you should be receiving in your mailboxes shortly your new voter ID cards. The city did consolidate some voting precincts, and every political boundary number has changed, so that's why you're getting a new card. And if you get a card for somebody that no longer lives at your residence, it's because by law we have to do due process and send it to people that may not have changed their address with the Secretary of State's office, so please just kindly let us know. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Rob?
So, a few things. I'm trying to keep us here too long, but we went through that agenda really fast, you guys. I'm proud of us. It was a long agenda. All right, so first thing is I want to thank everybody who helped us, helped the community put on the Arts and Pride picnic on Saturday. It was wonderful, great turnout, just really wonderful members of our community that came out to a place where they could feel comfortable and celebrated, and it was wonderful. And I still have my Love is Love tattoo, temporary tattoo that I got with my daughter that day, so it was awesome. I encourage everybody to come out to Juneteenth. I'm super excited about it. I actually, and then the Festival of the Park, I'm also very excited about it. I had to move our family vacation so it would fit between those two things, so it'd make it back in time, and I'm really thrilled that I will be able to do both of them. I know anybody who's on council can have a table at the Festival in the Park, and so I have requested mine, so come see me. I will have a little table. It won't be like a, never mind. I want to say Happy Father's Day, all of that stuff, you dads. And then I want to say, so for many people, it's the last week of school, at least for my children, it's the last week of school. Some people finished last week. And I want to say especially congratulations to the senior class at Madison High School and Amber High School. Congratulations. Y'all made it through the craziest season of being in high school for half of your high school career was spent during COVID and pandemic times, and I just can't imagine what that could have been like. I want to say especially I wish this was like streamed everywhere, so I'm gonna yell it really loud. Especially congratulations to my cousin-in-law's daughter. I'm gonna call her my niece. Caitlin Dugan, she was the valedictorian of Lanphier High School this year, and I'm just so very proud of her. I wanna remind everybody, like the clerk said, to please get your absentee ballot. Please vote, it's so important. Every election and our primary elections in August are so important. So please get out and vote. And then I have here this big bag of used shoes, gently used. They're pretty nice shoes, actually. I'm donating them today to the Madison Heights Youth Assistance. They have a box out here in the lobby of the fire station, and I think in a few other places around the city and City Hall. And they're using those to, as a program from the Madison Heights Youth Assistance. I challenge everybody on council, I know you all have shoes that you're not wearing anymore. Everybody bring a bag.
I have none.
Bring a giant, lies. Bring the biggest bag you can of shoes, bring them out, and it will really help our community and the programs that the Madison Heights Youth Assistance is working towards. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Plummer?
Yeah, no comments for
Councilman Soltis?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I had a question for legal counsel. No, I'm just kidding.
Next meeting.
You got some big shoes to fill with the Shermans. Yeah, happy Father's Day. I'm a father 3 times, and went golfing with my son today. And my youngest son just turned 18, graduated. I just couldn't beat him. This is one of those things, but I had fun at least. And other than that, it's a little disturbing to me when, being up here is tough, right? It's not an easy job. It's only a part-time job, I understand, but it's tough at times. And so I just, it's kind of changed where when I first got on, we didn't have people taking shots at us when we're up here. It happened last time and today. And I understand when it's freedom of speech, but, we have to sit here and we have to, kind of take it, even though if it's not necessarily accurate. But I just want to, like that saying, let's just get along. It's just, I just don't like seeing that divisiveness. And that's something I think as a city we need to work on, especially with their public officials, that, we don't get paid hardly anything, and we all work hard at it. We all have projects that we work on. We try to come together on issues, and as a city as a whole, like when we did the veterans ceremony. So those are the things that really matter. This other stuff, it's just kind of bickering, but that's just my 2 cents. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I just want to address something Councilor Rohrbach said that we got through it pretty quick. We got through it in about an hour. Something, which is good, something I would like us to address, not quite yet, because we're just getting used to, today is our first day in our new digs for the next few months, and we're all still trying to figure out the new format of this. But if we could potentially also look at maybe doing a consensus agenda. There are a lot of things that, we're pretty sure everyone's going to say, yes, we should do the road program, and we're pretty sure everyone's going to say, yes, we should adopt this. But with a consensus agenda, my understanding of it is we would say, here's what's on the consensus agenda, and if there was something, someone was gonna say, you know what, I really don't wanna give the festival the permit, it would get pulled out, everything else would get a yes, and then we would specifically discuss the permit. It would just save us a little bit more time. So down the road, I know you're busy with other things, but if that's something that you could look at just to, get through it even quicker would be great. And I will say this, when we're not doing Zoom meetings, we don't have to do roll call and everything, and it's fine, we do it on some things, but the Zoom meetings, every single meeting was a roll call for minutes, and every single, so it really did take a lot longer. So it is nice to be able to do the shorter meetings, and a lot of these are really, we have to say that this is a charity in the city, otherwise they can't do it. Okay, someone made that rule at some point. I can't see us saying no, but sure, we'll vote for that. We need to get 2 new police cars. Does anybody actually think we're gonna vote no on that, so there's a lot of things that it's the way that it's set up with bureaucracy, and, you know, we need to follow it, but anything we can do to sort of help move that along. I wanna thank everybody who came out today to speak, and who hopefully this has been recorded and everyone can hear what we're saying on the recording. We legally don't have to record these, and when we had COVID and we did everything on Zoom, everyone, myself included, just got used to being able to turn it on and watch it, you know, turn it on and participate. And when we went back in person last year, we continued not with the Zoom, but we continued with different streaming, with the next day, you could go online and you could see it. We don't actually have to do that, but Mrs. Marsh, with the help of Councilman Fleming, were actually able to figure out a way to do this relatively inexpensively so that we could continue to, hopefully, we'll find out, I guess, tomorrow if this worked, but, you know, to do that. Because I get that, it's nice to be able to see, you know, and if you miss it, not everyone's gonna come, obviously. One of the things that was not mentioned about everything happening this weekend that I do want to just remind everybody is that this is the 40th anniversary of the beating of Vincent Chen. And that's something that hits home with a lot of people, especially with our Asian community. And so on the 20th, which is going to be, I guess, next week, Detroit Public Television is actually going to air something about that. And then there are different events. I don't know of anything specifically happening here, but I do know that there's some things going on in Detroit. And then, again, one of the things we have to do, we have to approve our own fireworks, which just seems kind of odd. With GFL, they have been to my house at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I never think, I can't believe they're out there banging around making noise. My thought is always, these guys have been out for how long, and I hope they get some sleep tonight. So please just give them a bit of grace. They aren't intending to come to your house late. They're not intending to get your garbage late. But as was mentioned, anybody driving around here, you need to give yourself extra time. So imagine you're driving one of those trucks and, you know, people have just cleaned out everything. This weekend is Juneteenth. Citizens United is hosting that in the park. Everyone that wants to come out to that, I will be there. I believe that most, if not all, of council is going to be there. That's pretty much what I've got tonight. Our next meeting will be here, and I think until December, our meetings are going to be here in the fire station. So our next meeting will be here on June 27th. The time is 8:51, and this meeting is adjourned.